to use social media to build trust and gain leads for your business is the concept today. I have a company by the name of SalesSong, which I'll go through a little bit more in a moment. I've been in digital marketing for 10 years, and I worked at a Fortune 500 in marketing a long time ago, but I'll go into my story in just a moment with you all. The idea here is for you to learn to craft a social media presence that positions your expertise and acts as a lead generation tool. We have an opportunity to gain leads off of social media, and there are a lot of people that are posting, but they're not necessarily seeing any traction in their posts. So what we're going to go through today is to learn to really utilize social media in order to move people into your business, whatever type of business it is. Okay, so for your key takeaways today, we're going to make sure that you know how to move your audience through a buying cycle, or what's called a sales funnel. If any of you are not familiar with sales funnel, I'll briefly go through that so that you have a concept around that. Also, strategies to use your social platform like a website to gain leads directly from social media. To define your audience, what your audience needs to know and experience to move them to reach out to book with you, book a call, purchase your product, whatever the case may be. Also, identifying key elements of a strong brand for businesses online. And I'll explain to you why that's important. Reviewing proven strategies for creating valuable and engaging content that attracts and retains customers, and then discussing the unique dynamics of marketing intangible services in the digital space. Some of us sell knowledge and information. That's actually my expertise in a lot of the businesses that I work with, and there's a little bit of a nuance to that, so we're going to dive into that as well in order to serve you best. Okay, so my name is Heather Remec. Here I am pictured with my 3 daughters. And what I do is I will act as a fractional chief marketing officer. I'm an online marketing strategist, and I founded my digital marketing agency about 10 years ago. We support visionary experts and business owners to escape marketing mediocrity and produce tangible results online. So what I'm known for online is a lot of the psychology and personality that helps to build brands, along with the visual elements and things of that sort. We do a lot of bigger launches online. If you're in the online space, you'll probably seen our launches. You just didn't know it was us behind the build. And I have a team that obviously supports me. I could never do everything that I do as well as I do without the support of my amazing team who are experts in what they do. So we work with emerging thought leaders seeking to run and grow their businesses online. And some of our businesses that we work with function online, and some of them are brick and mortar or have a location, or maybe they work from home, but they still have a physical location, and they utilize us for the online portion of their business. And we will create a really connection-oriented customer journey through customized lead generation and sales processes, as well as building out your digital business and brand. So that's kind of the concept of what we do. We monetize things and move people forward, and we help to scale businesses pretty quickly. All right. So the first thing I'm going to go through is the key elements of a strong brand. I'm going to note some of the things that I like to see in brands, and that if I don't, I will dive in and massage, and then we'll go through the visual elements. So I really like consistency. Consistency builds trust. So consistency in your messaging, your words, not just the words that you use, but how you use them, your voice and how you speak and write. If you are the expert that's selling your expertise, I like for your voice in written word to sound like the voice that they get if you're speaking on stage, to sound like the voice they get if they have a conversation with you. Throw out the majority of what you learned in 4th grade English class when it comes to copywriting. You want it to be proper to a certain sense, but speak and write in a way that makes them feel like they know you and creates a connection point, more so than things that are more corporate and proper in the online space. And you'll just get better results, and it'll just feel easier to consume. We want to see your personality, your unique identity and character. If you have a business that sells product and you're not the face of the business, the brand itself can have some character to it as well. Like if we take a look at Nike, Nike has character to it, even if there isn't a face of the business consistently. There are a lot of businesses like that, but I think that's a good example. It's one of my favorites. Visual brand, logo, colors, image, style, fonts. I'll go through all that with you in a moment. Also, the audience, the target audience that you're addressing, make sure that you are consistently addressing that audience, calling them out so that anyone that comes across your content online in a new way will know that they fit into the wheelhouse of the people that you connect with and serve. I do not mind pushing the wrong people away. It brings the right people closer to you. So that's never a bad thing. And also, most businesses that have a culture behind them have a movement they're creating. There's some sort of a culture, some sort of a depth to your business. And this is a mark that a lot of people miss. But if you can develop a business where it has some sort of a movement and culture behind it, it really does help to attract that right audience. And the more you share that in a strategic way, the more that it makes sense. For me, example, when I take a look, and it took years for me to identify this, but when I took a look at my target audience, the majority of them were already business owners, or they had been at a high level, like C-suite generally, corporate level, and they were moving into business. They had been around the block. They have a lot of people following them on LinkedIn. So as they built their business, they wanted their I's dotted, T's crossed. They wanted things managed and managed well. And they tend to be highly educated, although that's certainly not a requirement. So I saw that personality inside of my audience consistently and started to create a movement based on that. Okay. People desire to be a part of something bigger than themselves. Okay. So I worked at a Fortune 500 in corporate early on in marketing, and I was in that corporate space for a long time. And then afterwards, I left marketing, and I actually have degrees in psychology and biology, and I was a medical counselor for a long time before I started my business 10 years ago. So the way that I do marketing is to dive deep into the way that people think. And you'll see that replicated in a lot of the content you see from me. And it works incredibly well because it creates connection points. But people do desire to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And the more that you can feel like you're creating a space online where you're pulling them in and engaging with them and making them feel like something bigger, they'll connect more. And that's where your movement really brings them in and draws them in. So now we're going to dive into developing a visual brand. And I actually should go back and say, I'm happy to give these slides to Tracy in order to share them with you. This is going to feel like a little bit of a fire hose, but it's all really good stuff that will help move your business forward. I believe in giving value. So that's what I'm doing for you. So why develop a visual brand? A consistency in your brand, it makes it feel like the business is well put together, and that helps to build trust. We have a responsibility online in order to build trust with them. We're not shaking their hands. We're not greeting them in person. We don't necessarily have that connection point online. So we're looking at ways in which we can build trust and a connection with them in a way that's one to many, right? Because we're posting something and hoping a lot of people see it. So online, people are apprehensive about looking for reasons to distrust a brand or distrust a person because they've just heard and seen so many things happen online that just don't feel like it coincides. So it's our job to combat that distrust for our business. And one of the ways that we can do that and showcase the fact that we're a solid, consistent business is for our visual brand to be very consistent too. I mentioned Nike earlier, and it's a great example of a brand that you don't even have to see the swoosh or see Nike, and you pretty much know that the ad is for Nike because of the consistency they have around the movement and the visuals. So what I'm sharing with you here is my brand board. That's something that all of my my team has access to when it comes to our colors, our fonts, and our visuals and our logo. And we stay within this concept in everything that we do to be sure that there's consistency and type of vision inside of the visual brand. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so as I got headshots done, the headshots need to, a couple of them are in here as well, but they need to feel like this brand, even in the aspect of the location that was chosen, if you see that consistency. Also, inside of anything that I create and send out. So this is the cover page for my marketing proposal. It also has the same elements and feel to it. This is the phase process that I utilize for my digital marketing agency, the phases we go through in order to do launches. Again, very consistent with brand and clear when it comes to the fact that no one else's brand looks like this. They don't even have to see the sales song. They've seen my things before. They will probably know that this is me because it's so unique. And then this is one of the posts that I posted online. Again, there's a lot of consistency inside of the brand. When they see this, they connect it with my brand and my agency brand, and that consistency builds trust over time. They feel like the business is put together and dialed in, and that's exactly what we want online. So this is not hard to create. Like I said, start with that brand board initially, that concept, and then expand from that. And a lot of you probably have a lot of the elements to it. You have a logo, you have, a website with some visuals, but diving deep into this will really help your brand over time. Okay, so secondly, I'm going to talk with you a little bit about using social media like a website. More and more, what people are doing is they're getting online and they are searching for companies or searching for keywords on social media rather than searching Google for your product or service. And that's fine. We can still use keywords inside of everything, but we want to make sure that they can find us and then also utilize like a social website. So inside of your bio here, you do want to add, this is an example of mine, I screenshotted it, but inside of your bio here, you do want to add words in there that delineate exactly what it is you do in the way that they would search for you. So for example, sales funnels are part of what I do, but I'm doing digital marketing at a much larger scale, right? We're doing launches, we're doing social media, we're running paid advertising, we're doing brand builds. That said, I know that they search the word sales funnel. So knowing that, I'm going to put that inside of my bio here so that they have the opportunity to connect with me and find me if they're utilizing it like a website. Secondly, and this is Instagram, but these apply to Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So just to kind of mention that. What I like to do is create pin posts. And if you see these top 3 posts, how they've got a little pin in them, these are pin posts. So they're not the newest post, but they're the posts that I want people to see because that I want people to see first if they look at my profile, because that acts as a social media space, more or less. Like it acts kind of like the pages that I want in my website. This post here, it's actually a podcast that was just recently launched that I was a guest on. This is the newest post by date. That said, I posted these 3 for a reason, and I'll go ahead and mention that. Over here I generally will choose 3, but these are some of the types of posts that I want to see pinned on your page so that it acts like a website for you. The first one is ways you can work with, and then your company name or your personal name if you're selling consulting or something personal, or what we do. That's this post right here. And if you were to open it up, it's a carousel of pages showing what my agency does and how we serve our audience. Some of them are bigger offers and some of them are smaller offers, but I want my audience to understand exactly what it is that we do so that they can kind of self-decide that there's something in there that they want to explore more or work within. If they only saw a post or 2 of mine and didn't see that, they may not realize all that we do or the depths that we go into in order to serve them. So a post like that is highly recommended for one of your pinned posts. Another one, which is fantastic, is a case study or testimonial carousel. So case study is usually one longer storyline around a result that you've gotten for a company and kind of the story of how it began, what their struggles were, what chose them to work with you, the results you got for them, things of that sort. So that's a case study. And then testimonials, I say testimonial carousel because a carousel online is a series of images that they can filter through, right? Just kind of like turning the page of a book. And you can take a series of testimonials if they're a little bit smaller and add those in as well. What a case study or a testimonial carousel does is it proves yourself. It shows to them that what the types of results you get for others. And if you sell a product, your testimonial carousel can be testimonials that you get kind of like off of social media, like the Amazon type testimonials, those types of things. And if you offer a service or sell knowledge in some way, it can be the results that your clients have gotten. And I wrote here my gift to you because at the end of this presentation, I'm going to present you with a QR code and you'll get a PDF that walks through the entire testimonial and case study process. You can even use that and literally give my PDF to your clients to direct them if you like. And they can go ahead and give you testimonials. Testimonials and case studies are something that I highly recommend and I use all the time in my marketing. So I wanted to be sure that you had that. There are questions inside of that PDF that I ask my clients, and then my clients ask their clients when it comes to getting enough information to create a case study from, so that you have a story around it. And it ends up being really beneficial. So that's very popular, and I wanted to be sure that you had it. So a case study or testimonial is another pin post that I like because, like I said, it proves what you're able to do. Also, another option is a give or value post, especially for those selling knowledge. So this one over here, and I'll show that to you later in the presentation. This was a pretty popular give post, but people reached out to me personally and connected with me and purchased from me based on that post. So I knew it was doing well. I knew that that was a great post to post. So I went ahead and pinned it. Another option is a post that had really great engagement or that went viral. Every so often we'll have posts that go viral and people recognize it, things of that sort. So those are great ones to pin. And the last one, I'll go through positioning more later, but a positioning post, maybe an image of you speaking from stage and the type of talk you spoke about, maybe, the storyline behind that, or you with, sorry, yes, let's go back. Sharing screen. Okay, perfect. I'm so sorry. Stop. I'm going to go ahead and broadcast again. I'm just trying to get my screen back.
Oh, good.
Okay. Okay. I did this before. No, shucks. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Do you need me to share my screen?
I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I just never
You'll
do
get it.
Zooms on
You'll
this.
get it. This gives my hand a break from taking all these notes too. It's great.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Okay. We're back. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, dealing without power. My power went out about an hour ago. So I'm managing all of this without power at my own. So yes, so the give value post, that's a post that tends to be beneficial. I went through that, grading, engagement for a post that goes viral, and then a positioning post. Let's see. Okay, so a positioning post is an image of you speaking from stage. It could be a known figure or a large brand that you've worked with and maybe a visual of that. Maybe it's a nonprofit support that you offer. So let's say that there's a nonprofit that you offer support to that's in your local community, something to that effect, and you really believe in that. That's part of the movement that you're creating. You can create a post based on that and help to give visibility around the things that you believe in and you've integrated into your business. Those types of things tend to be very valuable. So I would choose 3 of these and pin them. You can pin on LinkedIn, you can pin posts on Facebook, and you can pin post on Instagram. And I highly recommend you utilizing it. The top 3 are my favorites, and that's why I put those as the top 3. Okay, so this is the one that I mentioned. And I wanted to give this to you because it's valid in this conversation. So when you want to get clients from social media, there are certain things that you'll post that are kind of, the buyer's a little bit warmer, right? They're ready to buy. So it's things like your methodology, your process, and proof it works. Any testimonials or case studies, one of my favorites. You can also add in your transformation story. Like if you're selling your information and maybe you've done what you're teaching others to do. You have the opportunity to present your transformation story. It could even be the story of you building your business and just create a connection point there. Also, examples of your work is a great way to convert people from social into clients. If you want more leads on social, if you just want people to start engaging a little bit more, any problem solution type element with numbers and results is beneficial, like you stating a problem, you stating the solution that you can provide, and then you giving, like for me in marketing, I would get conversion rates and things of that sort, or, increase in sales, those types of things. So I guess it's a bit of a testimonial, but it's kind of situating the problem prior to. Any lead magnets. Lead magnets are, and you'll see this at the end of the presentation, I'm going to give you one, but lead magnets are pieces of information that you can give to people in order to move them forward with you. Sometimes it's a PDF, sometimes it's a quiz, and then sometimes it's some sort of a presentation that you can provide to them in order to move them forward. Resources, like this is a resource. Also, Q&A is great. So you can have people connect with you online and answer questions. But oftentimes what you can do is create a post saying, I'm, asking questions of them, saying, what are some questions you have about this specific area? And then you can use that as content to answer questions afterwards. So next, if you want followers on social media, you can post polarizing, opinionated ideas. So, and when I say that, you get to decide what you share within your brand and what you don't. It's completely up to you. It's your business. That said, I want you to be polarizing online. I don't want you to be too vanilla. When a brand is vanilla and they're pleasing everyone and connecting with everyone, that it really means you're connecting with no one. There isn't anything that really strongly attracts them to your brand. So be a little bit polarizing or opinionated in the specific things that you choose to speak about inside of your business. It can be in the marketplace in general. It can be the things that you believe in that, inside of your business, maybe the products that you believe in, and the fact that you have tested and disregarded other products that weren't as stable or as functional because, you've seen that this works well. There are a lot of ways to do that, but be polarizing. When we are polarizing, we dial in on visual brand, we usually increase conversions online by about 25%, if that number lands well with you. Also, behind the scenes of your life can be beneficial if you are a face of the business. Infographics, this is an infographic, which can be beneficial too. Any how-tos to teach them a little snippet of something of value. And also a checklist. If there's anything in your business that is checklist oriented, again, that's something of value that they can download or screenshot and go ahead and use in the future. To give and serve well as a market on social is to build trust and create reciprocity. So when you use your social media platform to give and to serve, as well as to market your products, that it's not just you selling all the time, that will build trust. And when they feel that they've gotten value from you, it'll create reciprocity. The more value that they tend to have received from you, the more likely that they're going to go to you to purchase in the future. Okay, so a strong brand, personal brand, builds trust in the eyes of consumers, especially from an online presence. And I should have taken out personal because we're also talking about business brands as well. Okay, so optimizing that customer journey online, there are some points of entry that I'll mention when it comes to them, connecting with you online. These are all different ways that they can connect. But when you've captured your audience's attention, develop a way to connect with them, something like lead magnets. And I'll show you some examples. So this is an example of a case study, which I mentioned to you. Okay. And this goes through it. This is a client of ours, and this is a result that we've gotten for them, but I wanted to show you the structure of a good case study. The fact that, we're having a storyline beforehand, a challenge, a solution, the result, we're highlighting, the revenue increase, things of that sort. For our business, it tends to work well. And then I added images of the business owner, so it feels real. So that's just an example. For service providers, you can create a conversion event that positions your expertise or the service provided to customers and moves them through that marketing process towards the sale with a clear call to action, something clear that you want them to do. Kind of like the one you're on right now. This is something that you could present to people in order to gain, clients afterwards, right? And effective digital marketing strategies, challenges, webinars, sales pages, training. The approach depends on the price point and the audience, what they have the time to consume, but those are all options. And then for online service providers or people providing services online, this does develop a deeper level of connection when they have the opportunity to actually connect with you, even if it's through Zoom. For product sales, creating a video that positions the value of your product and differentiating factors to your customers and moves them through that marketing process towards the sale can be beneficial. If you're selling product, that'll generally be your sales page or website. Okay. So on Instagram specifically, we can create an Instagram custom link. Is it okay if I go a few minutes over, or are we a hard stop at 4:30?
No, don't. Just take your time. We are absolutely fine. And I think this is awesome.
Lovely. Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, perfect. So for Instagram, what I like to do is to create a custom link page. Now, a lot of people will use, if you're on Instagram, a lot of people will use Linktree. And I don't mind Linktree, but I like a custom link page because when we have our own custom page, we can see who landed on it versus how many people clicked a button to schedule a call or buy from you or whatever the case. So we can see the conversions, the step-by-step process that people are going through for your sales funnel. And you can also design it in a custom way. This is mine. But for a lot of my clients, I'll go ahead if they're having a launch or they have a product launch, or they have some specific offer they want to highlight or a video that really sells their product well, we'll go ahead and add that in too. So underneath something like this, where you can click the links, they can scroll down and get an experience on this link that they clicked from Instagram. It's almost like bringing them into your space. You can connect them directly to your website, but sometimes you want to give them an opportunity to click different things and know a little bit more about your business. And this is a way to do it. So you'll get access to this, but each of these tell a different story and move with them, move the right people to the right offer. So the first three are three different types of offers or strategy calls that I have. This is a free resource. This is my website here. And then down here, they can connect with me on social. So I'm taking them from the highest value to the lowest value. That said, though, they have an opportunity to decide where they're emotionally at when it comes to connecting with me. So they don't feel like they have to, book a strategy call. Otherwise they're out. They can go ahead and test the waters a little bit more, and that's okay. Okay, so I'll go through these really briefly. Proven strategies in creating valuable and engaging content. Connection. I'm so big on this. Most brands today are competing on features, benefits, price. It's very logistical, right? If you don't want your brand to become a commodity, you'll need to build a deeper connection with your audience. You do not want to be the person on Amazon that has to drop your product 5 cents below the next product and just keeping on dropping the price because you're only a commodity and you don't have any personality behind it. You really, really want to be, in a space where you create a deeper connection with your audience to where even if you're a few bucks more, they're still going to buy from you because they like you. Also, the differentiation element is really key too. When it comes to standing out in a crowd, differentiation strategies will work at a certain level, but your personality, the energy that you bring to the table are unique and very memorable. So to create a feeling from connecting with a personality or even a brand personality tends to be beneficial. One example earlier that I mentioned is if there's a nonprofit that you support, showcasing that here and there on your site, letting it be known what type of an impact you want to create inside of your community, what type of an impact you want to create for, maybe it's in the culture of your company and the way that you are a leader, the type of dynamic you create for them. Maybe you have, educational resources for them. That type of thing builds a brand that feels different and people want to be a part of something like that. They feel pride around that. A good example is every so often you'll come across a company that has a big give element to it. Like, my mind's going blank, but there was a shoe maker that for every shoe that they sold, they would give a pair of those shoes away, to needy children or needing individuals in other countries. And that's the type of thing that people want to be a part of and connect with. So that matters. Okay. And then the third thing is polarization. Like I said, be anything but vanilla online. Your ability to create desire is dependent on your ability to be polarizing to your audience. So stay on brand while doing so, but bland does not get engagement or shares, much less sales. So I always say, be the magnification of your own personality that your audience wants to talk about. Whenever I start working with a business owner, I dive deep into their personality, if they're a personal brand, and magnify it. If it's a company and they already have a culture, we magnify that culture. We're very clear around who is a part of our team or crowd or space, and people that aren't will know that they aren't, and that's a fantastic element. Okay, so when it comes to marketing intangible resources online, when we can't meet someone in person or shake their hand, we miss the ability to connect quickly. That said, as a service provider online or someone that's selling online, part of our job is to create this connection as quickly and efficiently as possible in the online space. And when what you sell isn't tangible, it isn't a service like landscaping or plumbing, and it's based on your knowledge, if you're at that level, it's imperative that you present your knowledge inside of content. You have to prove yourself. So if you're a consultant or a coach or someone that sells information, showcase the information show them why they should work with you. And these can include lead generation strategies. You can post on social media. You can be a guest on podcasts. I do that quite a bit. Blogging, videos tend to be great. I always add the words to videos so that people who can't listen to the audio on a video because they're next to their sleeping spouse or next to their kid watching TV, they can still consume it. Create high quality lead magnets and those testimonials and case studies that I preach about to the end. Okay, I'm giving this to you for later. And like I said, I'll send Tracy these slides. But questions to answer in marketing and sales process. What is this? Is this for me? What's in it for me? How does it work? Will this work for me? That's one of the biggest ones, one of the biggest objections. They're always looking for a reason why this wouldn't work for them. How long will it take? These types of questions need answered in the marketing and sales process. And a lot of these questions can be an opportunity to create content around, right? So what is it? We can make a what is it post around what it is you sell or what it is you do, or what the product is that you have. Is this for me? We can talk about the audience inside of it. So this is a great little nugget of information when it comes to the marketing and sales process to make sure that we're hitting these points and utilizing them for our marketing and sales process. And when it comes to personal positioning, if you're selling yourself at some level, obviously successful case studies or testimonials are good. You can also use for positioning certifications or trainings you've done, any known clients or companies you may have worked with, the length of time you've been in your niche or years of experience, media or conferences you've spoken at, podcasts are good here, important rewards, recognitions, anything that lends to credibility. And you can use this in your bio, but I would highly recommend using it in your content. Like you can slide in that I worked at a Fortune 500 in marketing. I can slide in the fact that I've been, in business and digital marketing for 10 years. And in 2014, it was a very different space than it is now. So I've been a part of the growth of, this online concept in a lot of ways. Some of the bigger launches that are online that a lot of people are using, we actually developed. So those are the types of things that can be mentioned inside of the greater conversation to position your value and expertise. Okay, and this is a great positioning tool. Just wanted to mention that one again because it's so valuable. So to wrap up, in business, we're looking at lead generation, nurturing, sales, fulfillment of the offer, reselling and retaining our clients, right? And honestly, these 5 steps are for every business. So when we're taking a look at the health of the business, I'm usually taking a look at the health of each of these 5 steps and diving into what we need to tweak and adjust most. And oftentimes it's that lead generation, nurture, and sales. And I will say the vast majority of businesses I work with are missing the nurture. Sales can really increase when there's nurture, and social media is a phenomenal way to nurture those followers and move them into sales. Okay, so if you would like that free testimonial PDF, or to connect with me on social, whatever the case may be, you can go ahead and scan this with your phone, and you'll get access to that testimonial and case study guide, as well as if you'd even just like to peek at my social media to take a look at what I've done to see kind of an example of things, you're welcome to do that as well. All of my social channels are under Heather Remec, and my agency name is obviously Sales Song. So I'll give you a moment to go ahead and capture that if you choose. And that is what I have for you.
That was awesome, Heather. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to go through the slides and really work through each of them. Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's time now for Q&A. So if anyone has any questions specific to the presentation or to your business, now's your chance to ask Heather. You can just go ahead and unmute yourself. We're a small group at this point, but what do you have? Yeah, Renji.
Yeah, so thanks for the presentation, Heather. This is really informative. I have a question with regards to the slide about questions to answer in the marketing and sales process. And this is something that I struggle with because about, it says, what is this? Is this for me? What's in it for me? How does it work? How do you approach it if your market is segmented? Like in my case, I have a market that is not problem aware, and then a market that is problem aware, and you have to talk to them differently. So how, if you're facing that kind of situation where you need to talk to two different sets of people, how would you approach that on your social media, that you're effectively talking to both segments?
Yes, no, that's a great question. And honestly, the process of a sales funnel is to get people that are less aware oftentimes and move them through. So when you take a look at your audience and your offer and see what level of awareness each of them is, you're creating content for each of them. For example, the testimonials and case studies, that's a middle of funnel down type of concept. So people who are a little bit more problem aware are going to dive into that and say, okay, I already knew that I needed this resolution, and now I know that this person can give the results that I'm looking for when it comes to solving it. Whereas a lot of the lighter things, some of the things that I spoke about today, some of the like the posts that I put together around how to get clients, how to get sales on social and things like that, that's for people that are a little bit less aware in order to build some awareness. So you can, a lot of the content that I mentioned that's for leads and for followers is a little bit less problem aware. So we're taking a look at why, maybe designing a little bit of content around the problem that they're facing and lead them into resolution a little bit more in some of your content. But you're going to intersperse those because this is social media and you're talking to a lot of people. So there are people that are going to come in less aware, and your social media can help nurture their awareness as you post. So in a given week, you can post something for the less aware audience as well as the more aware audience, and just kind of piggyback back and forth, and you'll catch people at that right time. Also, if you ever wanted to do some sort of an online training or something to that effect, if that's beneficial for your business, that could be something that speeds awareness pretty quickly.
That makes total sense. Thank you so much, Heather.
Absolutely.
Steve and Valerie, any questions? Red.
I can't think of any right now, and it may just be because I'm tired, but I certainly appreciate you, Heather.
Absolutely.
And everything you shared was so knowledgeable. 99% of my clients come through social. So I'm always looking at what I can do better. So thank you sincerely. And I have connected, I sent a connect request on LinkedIn.
Oh, lovely. Oh, that sounds perfect. And you're in
Connect with-
health and fitness. I've worked a lot within health and fitness for individuals as well. So if you have anything specific to health and fitness as a question, I'd be happy to answer too, because I've grown a lot of brands in that space.
Great. Thank you so much.
So,
I will remember
absolutely.
that.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, guys, feel free to share what you do to provide some context too, if unless you already know each other. Steve?
Yeah, Heather, thank you for the presentation. It was awesome.
Yes, you're welcome.
My wife and I have a company that produces displays and graphics for trade shows and
Nice.
events. And just one question that came to the top of my mind was, so you can just say we sell a lot of small things, but we
Yes.
want to sell more big things. Okay, so our primary market is small things, displays, small booth, properties. But we would like
Yes.
to get into the larger, 10, 20 foot in island spaces. So how do we balance those two? Still connecting with the customers that need the small things, but want to gather more market in the larger booth spaces. How do you balance
Right,
that?
right. No, that makes sense. So who is your target audience when it comes to the larger businesses? Is there a specific niche or area that you work with, or is it anyone that goes to the trade shows? Is it pretty
Anyone that goes
general?
to
Okay.
the trade shows. Yeah, that would
Okay.
cover everything.
Everyone,
Technology,
So-
manufacturing, healthcare.
all the verticals.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little kind of inside tip in a moment. I would say that when you are creating visuals, you want to take visuals of the work that you've done. If you haven't done big ones yet, have a graphic designer put together something that looks realistic around what you're capable of. And maybe it's an expansion of a project for a current client, and send it over to them and say, as you grow, this is what I see for you, or something to that effect. So it gives your current clients the opportunity to see that you're capable of more. And then it also gives a visual for others. And then as soon as you start to land those types of projects, then you have the ability to take good photos of the booths that you put together. Another thing, and this is something that is an insider tip that a lot of people don't do. If there is a trade show that is going on in a specific city, even if you're not there, that you would like to get visibility around, what you can do is run social media paid advertising to that very small space and mention the name of the conference. So when it comes across their social media feed, which it probably will because it's a very small space, and they see that they're at their conference, that you're speaking of the conference they're at, they're generally going to click on it, and you can provide them with an ad around the visuals that you create. Maybe it's even a video ad, something really amazing. That is a great way to get leads that are they're coming from across the country or across the world to gather to a certain space, and you're creating an opportunity for that. It's not now, and these are people that if they're doing one trade show, they're probably doing many. If they're attending a trade show, they may be looking at getting a booth in the future. So the booths there already have their booths, but it gives you an opportunity to connect with the people that are already attending. And you can cherry pick which ones make sense for you. That, like I said, not many people do it, and I don't know why, because it tends to work really well. And in the same respect, if you've got a target audience that's gathering in some way, you can run ads to that zip code. It's really pretty specific.
Are you referring to geofencing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I didn't want to talk over your head, but yes, I'm
No,
referring
that's
to
fine.
geofencing.
Yeah, we're familiar with that. And,
Okay.
before geofencing, we just went in and found companies, found out what their social media handle was, and then just
Yes.
sent something to them. But now geofencing gathers a lot of people together.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, there's a great opportunity around that. I'm sorry. And then also just utilizing LinkedIn. And that's why I asked about target audience, and find specific target audiences that like marketing companies do it all the time. They have booths and things of that sort. So if they're granted, sometimes they'll make their own, but if there are different, specific types of companies that you see will create that bigger booth concept, or that you see are buying from you over and over again, utilizing LinkedIn in order to engage them can be beneficial too. You can, we have LinkedIn lead generation services, and we'll reach out to up to 40 businesses per day. Some directly and some on the mobile portion of it as well. So you can get a lot of volume, a lot of visibility around doing something like that as well.
Good. Great.
So
good. That's a good broad picture. The first question was, we don't want to show people a bunch of banner stands when we want them to, look at larger booths.
Yes.
And that's the pictures that we have.
Right, exactly. And that's why, there is nothing wrong with the designer designing, what you're capable of doing.
Right.
And like I said, if it can even be one of the brands that you currently know, so that if they go to look them up online and that, they have a presence, they have a space, but yeah, utilize that for now.
Awesome.
It's an easy growth hack, but I like that. And then, like I said, just creating personality behind your business as well. And, movement, the type of people you are, the type of, company you're creating, the way that you're taking care of your clients. People want to be a part of that. So share those things.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Renji, would you like to share a little bit about what you do? And do you have a follow-up question to your first one?
Actually, no, it was very clear and concise how Heather had explained. So just a background. So I have a online review collection agency. So it's a full service agency that collects reviews for small businesses. So that's what sort of what we do. So that's why it's a challenge, because we know everybody needs it, right? But not everybody is aware. A lot of businesses aren't even aware that that's a problem, or that's something that they need to pay attention to if they wanted to grow their business. So really trying to communicate that it's a challenge, because it's like I believe that it's like I really want to talk to everyone, but it's hard, right? Because we got the whole thing about being problem aware or not problem aware versus those that are problem aware. It's easier to speak to the problem aware ones, right? Because we have the solution. But for the ones that like don't even know it's a problem yet, it just goes over their head. And I want to be able to communicate that effectively to them.
And for you, I would also take a look at them understanding the value of it, the value of your services and what it can do for their business, because they're aware that there are reviews out there. They may not be looking at theirs or realize that there's cleanup that needs to happen. They may not see the value of that versus all of the other things they're being, that are being sold to them, more or less. So for you, I would definitely, I would create a good bit of content perpetuating the value that those services bring to the table, dollar amount or even percentages. If somebody doesn't want to share the dollar amount that their sales increased, they can share, a 15% increase based on the fact that you've been working with them for a few months in order to dial in on that. And you can even talk about pull data around, how many people look at online reviews before they buy. That type of thing will start to, turn on some lights in their minds around the fact that they need your services.
Thank you so much. Great ideas.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think we will wrap this up then and let everyone get back to your afternoon. And Heather, thank you so much. This was absolutely just value bomb after value bomb. so thank you.
It wasn't a fire hose, but I wanted to make sure you're taken care of.
It was a good fire hose. It's the kind we, I think achievers like that. Lots of great content. So now to put it into action. So thank you for making yourself available today, for sharing, and for sharing your contact info so we can connect further.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care, everybody. Have a great afternoon, and thanks so much for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye.